Are you wasting your time in the gym without even realizing? Most beginners follow the wrong workout split and stall their progress before they even get started. In this video, I'll show you the #1 split that helped me and a huge number of my clients build muscle and lose fat fast. And no, it's not what most fitness influencers preach. The problem for most beginners is they either follow some random workouts based on what they feel like on the day, or they train like an advanced bodybuilder. That leads to seeing zero results, constantly picking up injuries, or just getting burnt out. I made all of those mistakes, but this is going to simplify it for you. So what does an effective workout program actually need if your goal is to build muscle and improve your physique? There are 4 pillars to an optimal program, which are frequency, volume, progressive overload, and intensity. The problem is, if you take one of these things out of the equation, all of a sudden, everything doesn't quite add up as it should. That's why it's so important that your program incorporates all of these areas if you want to see the best results, especially as a beginner. The first thing we'll look at is frequency, and what I mean by that is the number of times that you're going to train a muscle group each week. And here's a big mistake that I made in the early days of my training that you will likely be making too. A lot of beginners are following some sort of bro split where you train chest on Mondays, shoulders on Tuesdays, legs on Thursdays, back on Friday, and so on. The issue with this is the frequency that you're working each muscle group is simply not enough if we want to maximize the amount of muscle you can build. With that in mind, we are going to be utilizing a full body split, training every other day, meaning that we can target muscle groups up to 3 to 4 times per week. That increased level of frequency means we're going to have a lot more opportunities to work your individual muscles, stimulate hypertrophy, repeat that process and grow, compared to if you were just working your chest or your shoulders once per week. When it comes to exercise selection, this is obviously going to depend on the equipment that you've got available to you in your gym. I've put a link in the description for my body recomposition guide that has a list of my favorite exercises for hypertrophy and video demonstrations so you can match the kit that you've got available to you in your gym to your program. With that, there is one mistake you could be making with your exercise selection. When our goal is growth, where possible, we want to try and prioritize stability. I love using dumbbells and barbells in my training, but machines that allow you to really dial in on certain muscle groups with a high amount of stability provide you with an opportunity to very safely push yourself to failure, continue increasing the weight without a high amount of risk, and take the most from the exercise you're doing. And if you're avoiding them, you could be missing out on a lot of progress. On the screen now, you can see how I would look to design your full body split in terms of what muscle groups you'll work and in what order. What I would generally advise is to rotate the muscle groups that get worked first in the session when you're fresh and you've got lots of energy, to ensure that you're not left with any lagging body parts. That might mean starting one workout with chest, another with back, another with legs, and another with shoulders. I would look to have 4 different full body sessions that you rotate between, meaning that over a 2-week period, you're training a total of 7 times. Quick reminder, if this is helping so far, hit the like button, let me know in the comments below where you're at on your training journey and the split that you're currently following. Moving on to sets and reps, I'm going to show you how to avoid probably one of the biggest mistakes you can make, which is junk volume. This is when you are doing sets in your session that aren't really contributing towards your goals, but they are having an impact on your fatigue and recovery. An example would be jumping onto a leg press, doing a set of 8 reps and stopping, when actually you probably could have done 12 or 13 reps. We know that when our goal is muscle growth, it's the final reps at the end of the set where you're giving 100% effort, but the weight is moving super slowly, that contribute the most. Based on this, if you're stopping your set short of those difficult reps, all you're doing is creating fatigue without the stimulus required for hypertrophy. Instead, for all of the exercises in your program, you're going to do just 2 sets, but we'll be taking those sets to absolute failure. What I mean by absolute failure is, if I were to stand in front of you and to offer you £1 million just to do 1 more rep on the leg extension, you would not be able to take the money. For the reps, for set 1, we're going to have a range of 6 to 10 reps, and for set 2, a range of 12 to 15 reps. That means you want to pick a weight where you can do at least 6 reps and not more than 10. Once you do hit the top end of the rep range with a given weight, you then increase and start that cycle again. To be clear, the 2 sets do not include warm-up sets, and on most exercises I will generally aim to do 1 to 2 sets just to prime the muscle to lift heavy, prevent injuries, but this is dependent on the exercise and the weight that you're using. The important thing is that you're continuously pushing up the weight when you get to the end of the rep ranges, which is the progressive overload element of the program, to ensure that you're consistently challenging your body to do more and signal that an adaptation is required. Once you've got your program in place, I suggest that you'd want to stick with that for a minimum period of 6 months. A lot of people think they need to shock their muscles and keep changing things up to make progress, but actually this can be counterintuitive. To build muscle, we need to get strong, and that strength will come through when you become really efficient at the movement patterns you're doing, and you can start to really challenge yourself in your workouts. The final thing I'll add is that with this full body split, it is important that you ensure you always have a rest day after your workouts before going into the next session. When you're going to be working these same muscle groups more frequently over the week, ensuring that you're taking the time to rest and recover between sessions is key, and this is an equally important part of the process of building new muscle tissue. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you'd like to get help from me to put together a program specifically designed for you, from the workouts, the exercises, macros and accountability, hit the link in the description, apply for one-to-one coaching, and I'd love to chat. See you in the next video.